need. Say your words, they remain like a seedling planted in my brain. We'll go reverse in our plans, we'll return to understand how we got here stranded like the fall of man. Stop accelerating, you got to wait. Don't you hear me? I'm sounding all alarms. Don't touch that door. Don't you know you'll break me all over and over again? Watch me drown, saw me die. No remorse, not a drop in eye. With the still light pulls and a frozen mind. You start believing, it starts my breathing. I can suffocate at the sound of by. Stop accelerating, you've got to wait. Don't you hear me? I'm sound.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy HMK once again, and I'd like to welcome you back for the 100th time, 100, to the fifth dimension. We have plenty to talk about when it comes to the BLITZ, the advent of Kingdom Hearts. Some positive, some negative when it comes to the developments of the series, the games, and what we can look forward to when it comes to the elements of the future when looking to the past. And I've got two amazing homies with me, two fellow key keepers here for the ride. Now, of course, I gotta introduce them, even though they don't need introductions. But let's start off. Here is SarahKey. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're happy. Always, always. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Now, of course, next up, last but certainly not least, the boy, Jared Cynical, TheGamersJoint. How you doing today?
Yay, what's groovy, man? Good to be here again. Let's talk our favorite stuff of all time, Kingdom Hearts!
You already know. See, he already knows. They both already know. And of course, I am your host of the Fifth Dimension. I am HMK, fellow key keeper. We got 3 key keepers on the show today. Now, a bit of a preface, because I know I'm going to be asked this multiple times during the stream and whatnot. And if multiple people come and ask me this in the comments, I'm relying on you in the chat to let them know. We were trying to put together a full set of key keepers for a key keeper specialized stream, but of course all of our scheduling is super erratic, so unfortunately Dean and Sky weren't able to make the show, and because of that we felt it would be better to regulate a show of just 3 key keepers onto the fifth dimension. But that does mean we are trying to get a full set of us very, very, very soon to talk about this in a more comprehensive manner. So with that being said, Sarah, Jared, we have a lot, and I mean a lot, to talk about when it comes to Kingdom Hearts in general. We got stuff to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, the developments of possible voice acting being done, and of course the advent of the Summer's Game Fest, which is happening next week, all in the face of the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, crazy. There's a lot going on. There is a ton going on. I mean, just June in general is like the big, game and BLITZ blowout of like the year. So that's always exciting just to kind of see like what's in store for the future. But yeah, I think that we're kind of hopefully fast approaching like something substantial with Kingdom Hearts. I mean, it was only like a couple of weeks ago that we got the KH4 screenshots. And it's still funny to think about that because it's like, was that just damage control? Was that just damage control? Was that kind of like, all right, ignore what's going on with Missing Link. We got like this plate of food right here. How about this? You like this? I don't know.
So
yeah,
I like that you brought that up. So because you brought that up, let's get that elephant out of the room off beat. First of all, let's get the negative out of the way and whatnot, because we can talk into the moon about all the positive stuff, but of course there's multiple things happening with Kingdom Hearts, and like you said, the things with damage control and Missing Link. If y'all have been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, yes, it hurts me to once again say this, but Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was effectively canceled by Square Enix and Disney not too long ago. The same day, in fact, that we got the new Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots. So let's talk about that for a little bit and how that could relate to Kingdom Hearts 4 before we get into the positives of the hype that is Kingdom Hearts 4. So with that being said, I want to throw the ball over to Sarah first, because if I start, I'm probably not going to be able to stop for like half an hour, and we don't want that. So Sarah, tell me how you felt and where were you when Missing Link got canceled?
Okay. It was like 3 a.m. I was awake. And
you were awake?
I was awake, yeah.
Oh.
And I saw the post. So at first I saw it on Instagram. And you know how on Instagram people make those like fake news accounts for Kingdom Hearts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was
Kingdom
fake.
Hearts?
I literally, somebody screenshot the tweet. And I saw it and I was like, what? So then I go on Twitter and I'm like, wait, this is real. They actually canceled Missing Link. And yeah, I don't know. My feelings are a little bit mixed, I guess. I loved the time period of Union Cross and how it I feel like it really brought the community together. I'm not the biggest fan of mobile games, but I loved the story and I loved I just loved that time. I feel like the pre Kingdom Hearts 3 hype, Union Cross. It was nice, and I was kind of excited to have that again, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I'm sad, but
No, I definitely
agree
get
with
that.
that.
Yeah,
I
100%.
think that whole thing of having these small little story blowouts, every few months or 6 months, whatever it was really exciting, and that only would happen if you have this ongoing live service game, right? That wouldn't happen traditionally with big single player story experiences. So I think that aspect of UX was really cool. I am not fond of UX, and I think a lot of people know this, but there are parts of it that I did enjoy, and that part of it was cool because it was every few months the community would come together and they'd be like, wow, did you see what just got revealed, blah 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 blah, and it would create this really cool discussion. It was this frequent dosage of progression on the Kingdom Hearts story, which we had previously never had before.
That's
so
why
I like
saying
that aspect.
That's why I keep saying Union Cross for me, because I like playing Union Cross, but Union Cross for me was so cool because it was kind of like a living, playable manga for Kingdom Hearts, though. Because how everyone's manga Thursdays or manga Fridays where the new show and Jump would drop and stuff. Every time a new episode of Union Cross would jump, I'm like, oh, that feeling of community was so nice. I love that. And I understand that people have different opinions on the type of, how they enjoy the game of Union Cross. Personally, I enjoy playing it. I sure, I get why some people get think it's monotonous, whatnot, but I enjoy playing it because it had a lot of interaction points to it, and I didn't hate the art style. I love customization stuff, and also I'm kind of when I say this, don't get me wrong, I am a gacha fiend, but by playing gachas, not doing gachas. I'm not made of money, all right? I'm not playing gachas for the gacha, but I kind of like how gachas are kind of what do you call it, structured and whatnot. And I'm like, Jared, how can you hate Union Cross? That's your color. That's the Kingdom Hearts.
No, I mean, yeah, right. Looking at that logo, yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I just don't like I guess the business side and the monopoly of gachas a whole lot, and how they're kind of structured around MTX and all that. I think if you're just playing casually, though, it's sort of fine, but I just personally didn't find that the gameplay of Missing Link, it was just so mobile game. It is the epitome of what most of the mobile games are where I just didn't enjoy playing it, versus if I look at something I'm currently re-addicted to Wuthering Waves again. I love Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact, right? And I think those are gachas.
Wait, are you playing Genshin right now?
I'm not playing Genshin. No, I haven't actually returned back to Genshin since really the first year it came out. But I did get into Wuthering when that came out last year, and then I've just kind of recently dipped back in because there's a whole bunch of new stuff. But I think Kuro Games and Hoyo are sort of the leading examples of how to do those kind of games right, and to think they're also mobile titles too, pretty insane. Obviously, that's on a much bigger budget, but if Kingdom Hearts were to ever go into that live service route, personally, I would love to see it as a Genshin Wuwa type thing, or if we're looking MMO space. Right. But how it was sort of dished out in UX, I was just not cool. Right. But there are elements of it that I did enjoy, 100%.
No, I feel that, and I feel like Missing Link was definitely going into that direction, not completely, but kind of in that direction where it's it's a more comprehensive type of gameplay style that's more comparable to
absolutely
Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep, all that stuff. So
absolutely,
I was mad excited. So before I get to my sorrow, Jared, same question over to you. Where were you, and how did you feel about the cancellation of Missing Link?
Man, I was cooking dinner, so it was I think it was 7 o'clock or something. Cooking dinner, I'm doing that chicken stir fry and flicking around the noodles and the capsicums, and I get a few dings on my phone, Twitter notifications, and like I glance at it, missing link cancelled. Okay, this has got to be a meme, sort of like similar to how Sarah's explaining it. This has got to be like absolute dribble. Click into it, like still stirring my stir fry. Oh my god, no shot! It actually got cancelled. That's insane. That's insane. So I think, and I think I speak for like everyone here. Like it caught all of us off guard, just because I think all of us collectively knew there was something going on with this game. There were so many pushbacks, both what is clearly, well, speculated to be internal pushbacks, as well as public pushbacks, the long months of silence, and then also finding out that the game had at least been in the early stages of like pre-production, prototyping, and whatnot since like 2019. So to think that like the game had been kind of worked on for that amount of time, but yet like it just wasn't pushing forward. There was nothing coming out about it. It was just dragging on and on and on and on. I think people thought, all right, there's something wrong, something's happening, whether it be reworking certain elements of the game or cutting certain things out, or maybe the game turning into a totally different thing. I know one theory that was floating around was maybe Square Enix were looking at removing the GPS side of things. Just because we know that GPS games in this day and age, like we're out of the Pokemon Go craze and hype now, those games they're not successful. They are just blatantly not successful. And you've got like mega brands that have attempted to do GPS games. Harry Potter is an example that flop. Like no one's interested. So the only games that are still getting attention in that space of things, the location-based GPS games, would probably be Dragon Quest Walk over in Japan. I know that apparently pops. And Pokemon Go, though it's definitely not its former self. But
there's
outside of that, like...
There's one more. Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter one.
That one's still going?
Yeah, and it pops
No
off.
way.
A lot of people play it. Like, especially every time I go to Texas, dude, everyone plays that shit over there. Yeah, Monster Hunter now, there you go. Yeah.
You know, if I look at like, you know, Pokemon or like Monster Hunter, I think the themes of those games kind of logically make sense in the environment of a location game, right? So for these other games that are trying to do the same, where it's like they don't relate so much, though I will say Nomura's like idea of how the GPS function actually fits into the narrative is super cool. That's a like deep Nomura thing. But I just think that they thought like, nah, it's just not going to be sustainable. There's not going to be enough like attention on this title to keep people playing a GPS game several months after the launch. It will really only be the hardcore fans and the whales. And is that enough? Probably not. And with the change of leadership and the new business direction, I mean, it does make sense that it got cancelled. Though I don't think anyone was expecting it. Crazy to even know that it is cancelled. That's just like insane.
So like, let me tell y'all where I was at. It was crazy. It was crazy because like, for those that see my content, know me, watch my streams, I was insanely looking forward to this game because I loved Union Cross and I liked the idea of you know, a robust Kingdom Hearts great gameplay style on your phone. When I was gonna have controller support, I even got stuff that would let me stream the thing. Right, this is a what do you call it? It jacks into your wall, but then also has wires that allows you to like, you know, mirror and stream stuff to your computer. I was ready, right? And this cancellation just like hit me like a truck because the thing is, I was sleeping when it happened. And usually I turn my phone off, especially when I'm like super tired, and I was mad tired. So I was sleeping, and then I look at my phone and I see there's a shitload of notifications on my phone, and I see like literally memes on Twitter about me being asleep. They're like, yo, when HMK wakes up, he is going to lose it. And then a friend of mine, Tenebrae Queen, Miss Tenebrae, she was like, oh man, this is how HK be like. And then like it was just Yuzora sleeping and like everyone's yelling at him but not waking up. And then I see that I'm like, why is everyone like freaking out that I'm asleep? And I'm like, there had to be some, and I see the news, I'm like, fuck, right? That morning was completely ruined for me, right? I was like, fuck, right? And, you know, relaying on the whole idea of like, because obviously we're probably not going to know why this thing got canceled until years after the fact. And I'm constantly thinking on the line that, like, I believe this game would have took off because, you know, there's like you said, not like there was a bunch of people that tried the whole GPS thing. A lot of them didn't work out, but the ones that did work out have like good staying power in terms of their name brand. That's one. And then two, Kingdom Hearts fans are extremely passionate about projects and products that they're willing to all give it a shot and stuff, especially here and in Japan, right? And like someone living in Florida, it would suck to do a GPS game because it's like boiling over here, bro. It's like reaching 95 degrees right now where I'm at. And I would just, you know, play from home, use my energy, not play, or just like, I don't know, spend to get my energy back. But I was like looking forward to that game so much, and I felt that it would have taken off. I really do believe the reason why it got canceled is possibly because one, the new leadership at Square Enix, or two, the game kept falling apart for some reason. I honestly believe there's something behind the scenes in the game's code, right? And I know that everyone's like data mining the thing to hell and back from the previous beta right now, or they were able to get their hands on the files. But I'm pretty sure there's something within the code that just kept falling apart to the point where, like, not only did the Square Enix new leadership was like, okay, yeah, I'm not feeling this game, but then also the people developing it are like, yeah, I don't think we could ship it in this state, right? And it just got to the point where it got pushed back so many times, and that Kingdom Hearts 4's own development kept going to the point where, like, it makes, like, with the bugs and with the new leadership, it just all got tied together in a bow to the point where they all realized it doesn't make sense to release this thing at this point in time now, right? Because I want to be hopeful that Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming sooner than later, and they definitely don't want to have this thing come out like a month, a week, or like even within half a year before Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. Like it missed a shot, because remember, the first beta was supposed to be in 2022, and then the game was supposed to come out last year, and it just kept getting pushed back. So they're like, yeah, we missed the window completely. Sorry. And then they pulled the plug on it. So yeah, sad stuff.
Yeah, I think it, you know, might be a good mix of the two of them. Like, it was just kind of dragging on. There were issues that they were encountering during development. The fact that Square Enix want to be a little bit more careful where they're putting their money now. You know, if these things keep dragging out, obviously it's going to cost more money. So yeah, I think that's kind of on the money, to be fair. On the money. Yeah, I think that if they had just shot for a 3D Kingdom Hearts game on mobile that was a gacha, just without the GPS side of things, because that makes it a whole lot more technical, then we probably would have had Missing Link by now. And honestly, I would have been a lot more open to just something like that kind of resembles, you know, something along the lines of like a 3D action RPG gacha like Punishing Grey Raven or Genshin Impact on a smaller scale. Something like that would have been cool. But yeah, there are aspects of this that, you know, I was looking forward to as well. This story seems so interesting.
Yeah, and we lost all those characters. We lost Remus, we lost Nept, we lost the characters that possibly are Hugin and Moonin. We lost all those characters, man. Brain is never coming back. Brain is dead. Like
and he's been through the ringer, dude.
We are gonna see his grave in Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm telling you. Okay, so now that's all the negative. Of course, we're gonna bring up aspects of Missing Link throughout the rest of the stream and whatnot. But let's go into the positives. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're giddy, Jared, but I'm gonna throw the ball over to Sarah first again. And Sarah, tell me about them Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots. Just go.
I loved them. I am such, you know, if it was damage control, I'm such a sucker. I don't care. Like,
Me too.
I loved them, and that's kind of just like all I've been wanting anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I just seeing progress, just hearing about progress, anything like that was really all I have been excited about. And I think like the main reason I was excited about Missing Link in the first place is just because that kind of fills those voids for a while. So I don't know, I was just really excited. It was fun to look at all the pictures and decode them and try to see like, oh, where is this from? And yeah, I was very happy about it personally.
All right, so let me ask you this: which one stood out the most for you out of the 7?
Out of the set, I almost feel like I need to like look at it just so I can. I mean, the Strelitzia improvement. I know that was really cool. I really like the lighting of Sora. Like it's not like a parking garage, but like underneath. I think somebody said what building it was.
It was. I think it's underneath
the freeway.
The freeway, the one that's towards the Shibuya station. Yeah.
Yeah, the lighting of that so good. The phone. Good. I mean, everything. I loved all of them. It's kind of hard to pick. You know what? How about I'm gonna go with the telephone. 10 out of 10 lighting.
Yeah.
That's the one that just sticks out. I'm like, why is Ness's dad here? Oh my god, Earthbound fans, you'll get that joke. But I every time I look at that phone, it's just like all the other 6 photos are so epic, and I see the phone, the fucking rotary ass phone, and I'm like, why is this here? And then like, of course, there's so many people like going off with theories or whatnot, which we're gonna be talking about later in the stream. But like, it's funny, the phone.
It's there for a reason, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's there for a reason. Oh yeah.
For sure.
All right, so with that being said, let me throw the ball over to Jared. Jared, tell me what you thought about those photos.
I mean, it's nutrition, right? Like, damn, dude, we've been like malnourished. So like, yeah, it's nutrition. And you know, I get that it's only screenshots, but it's just great to see like the game in 2025. And also like how they all kind of seem sequenced intentionally as well, like especially that bottom one. I think that's all the same event happening. There's a lot that you can kind of take away from just screenshots, you know, when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. We like to kind of like deep dive and pick it apart, but there is just like, although people are like, wow, like you can talk so long about screenshots, it's like, like absolutely, man. This is a lot of juice.
Every time I see those comments on YouTube, he's like, damn, like you got a couple of screenshots and you're making a video that's like 20 minutes long. I'm like, bro, there's so much to talk about. Like, what are you talking?
Right?
We're deep in this. We are deep in. We are like rotting from the inside out. So this is massive. This is massive.
Positivity of hobbies.
Yeah. It's like, yo, this photo alone could mean 7 different things, and all of them are bad. So like, of course, we can talk about this.
Branches off into several different possibilities, and I think that's just the magic of Kingdom Hearts, is just, you know, speculating, talking, discussing, and that kind of provides it. But yeah, I mean, the game's looking good. I mean, it's hard to judge just based off of a screenshot. I think all of the Mickey gameplay and the bottom 2 rows of screenshots look great. They look polished, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
But there are parts of that gameplay that give me vibes of like
the top
2015 E3 KH3 trailer type vibes. But I don't know, it's just hard to judge off of one screenshot. So
exactly,
but yeah, it looks good.
I will say this, like, so when I first saw these screenshots, like it's so funny. I was literally wrapping up a stream. I ended the stream, and then I was planning to go get dinner, and then the screenshot dropped, and I'm like, whoa! So then I like went nuts on this. I analyzed it. I put a couple of videos out. Then I still went to go get my dinner super late, and I'm like, and I just came back and I stared at these photos. But I do agree with you. I do believe like the bottom photos, like the bottom 6 photos. Let's see the phone, Mickey, I call it the Neo Dark Side, like just Neo Dark Side. Yep. Sora in front of that effect, and then Sora, who the last photo was Sora. Sora looks amazing now, and I thought he looked good before, and he just looks great.
Mm-hmm.
But the top photo of the gameplay does look rough. It looks like, damn, this needs a little bit more parts. I mean, I'm glad I'm seeing more stuff. I'm seeing different gameplay from the trailer. I'm seeing an actual like, you know, custom made command menu. I'm seeing a new Sora icon on his health bar. I'm seeing new enemies and whatnot. So, but other than that, it does look a bit rough. So I'm like, oh, obviously photos in development, subject to change, right? So, you know.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because there are things here. It's very conflicting to look at because there are things here that, you know, tell us that it is many links through development, and so it should be. We know that it began back in 2020. It's been a long time now. I mean, if you're looking at the average time to develop like a AAA game, it's anywhere from 4 to 6 years. So it's pretty well through. So we do have things here that suggest it's made good progress, but then you do look at the gameplay and it's like, wow, I was expecting it by this point to look not quite like that.
Right.
But again, to make a final judgment call, we'll have to see what the most up-to-date build running on UE
exactly. So we have
is looking like in motion.
Yeah, so like we have no idea when that first photo was taken, right? So
that's right. Yeah,
you know, that's something to also consider and whatnot. It's just like, oh, like when it comes to this collage of photos, it's like, oh, were they sitting on this for a while? Did they just take these photos like within the week, knowing that the the cancellation confirmation was gonna happen and whatnot? Like,
Randy, whip up something quick!
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yo, the Kingdom Hearts community is not taking this well. Boot up the game. Like, who's got the demo disc? You know, so yeah. But it's funny because since these things were like, and it's funny because since this photo was tweeted out, posted on all the social media accounts, and that it had this really long message, it's like, oh, to our Kingdom Hearts community and whatnot. This was definitely planned, and I will say it was planned adjacent to the Missing Link cancellation. Like, it's crazy. Square Enix personnel must have been sitting on this for like at least, you know, a couple days a week, maybe even some months. So they knew that they were looking at this like, oh, today's the day we get to post this, you know.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's absolutely crazy. All right, so we talked about Kingdom Hearts 4, specifically the screenshots. Of course, we're going to go diving deeper into the story aspects and whatnot, but I do want to get all of the news aspects out of the way first. So with that being said, I'm going to throw the ball over to Jared first on this. Jared, to squash completely the Kingdom Hearts 4 Missing Link conversation before we move on into the rest of the hype and the theories and whatnot, do you believe, and if so, that Missing Link with its cancellation, they're going to reincorporate story elements from that specifically into 4? And how would they do it? And would you rather want like another route? And when I say another route, I personally believe that like, oh, whatever story beats or elements they would have had Missing Link connect to Kingdom Hearts 4, maybe they could do like a limited YouTube series or a 2-hour movie that's on the disc of 4, kind of like back cover. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that I think they'll probably incorporate like some of the more important bits like into 4, and I'm kind of thinking along the lines of the different things that like Mickey finds out about while he's in Scala. So it would only make sense for that past canon to be integrated into Scala. That makes the most sense to me, because Nomura more or less said that like you're gonna understand some things better in Kingdom Hearts 4 if you play Missing Link before going into 4. And especially consider yeah, for sure. So I mean I'd have to imagine that, you know, they need to kind of do something. And also, like, Sigurd seems like he's going to play a role in KH4 as well. So I think there will be, like, certain parts, understanding points, that were originally planned for Missing Link to provide that further context in 4, now integrated into 4. But I think that just going off of what we saw within the 2 beta builds and the story that was contained in those versions, along with also all of the stuff that lies within the game files of Missing Link, because there is some pretty crazy stuff. This story still needs to be told separately rather than just being integrated, I feel. So,
okay.
I mean, the hope here is that I would like to see Missing Link's story, you know, retold, repurposed, chuck it into a subtitled game. Let's get back on that subtitled a Kingdom Hearts game entry vibe that we had going on in the early 2000s and start shifting away from the mobile and just kind of like chuck it into a console game. I would love a single-player Kingdom Hearts game. Yeah, something, whatever it might be. But I would love a single-player Kingdom Hearts game where you customize your character and you do all this, and there's like a deeper level of customization that isn't just restricted to that of how a character is supposed to fight, etc., etc. You could choose their fighting styles, their combo string could be fully customizable, that kind of thing. I think they could do a lot with it. So I think just given how important Missing Link is, it will be repurposed one way or another. I mean, recently I've been thinking about, what if like Square Enix came out recently to, I don't know, like present Kingdom Hearts 3.5.
And don't
like
even get me started on 3.5 because I'm completely on board with that deal. I'm telling you, Kingdom Hearts 3.5. Kingdom Hearts 3 with Remind already on disc or on cart for Switch 2. Have that along with a Missing Link movie and a Verum Rex playable episode that's like around the same portion, like the same size of 0.2 to get ready completely for 5. Not 5,
like
4.
something.
There you go. Something like
Something
that.
that would be
Don't
cool.
don't get me started. So before I get started on that, I want to throw the ball over to Sarah now. Sarah, in terms of Missing Link, of like what could have been in the story or whatnot, would you like to see that completely repurposed into 4, or are you on the same boat as Jared in terms of having it become its own thing, maybe like a subtitle game, or like, hey, are you like in my camp for 3.5? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking Kingdom Hearts 0.3, ideally.
Let's
go.
go.
I mean,
let's go.
I agree with all of those sentiments. I mean, I think as long as it's executed well, I don't really have a preference. Like, I'm somebody who enjoys the back cover movie. I'll say it. I liked it.
No, I'm right there with you.
I liked it as well. Yeah. No, I fuck with it. Yeah.
Wait, why do you sound so sarcastic when you're saying that?
Because so many people don't like it.
I don't know. Yeah, it is the thing. When it first came out, people were like, nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Like, what do you mean? I was on the edge of my seat.
Nothing happened. What do you mean nothing happened? Like,
I know. It was so good.
Right?
So I'd be down for a movie. Yeah, I think if they can cover the things that need to be covered in Kingdom Hearts 4 to understand the story, then I think that would be a good option. I love the idea of a single player game. Obviously, like, I mean, I'm always down for anything like that. So yeah, for my opinion, it's just as long as it's incorporated in a way that we understand everything that's going on. And it's executed well. Exactly, that's all that matters to me. Yeah.
I mean, funny. It needs to be explained because like it is this massive gap that connects UX to Dark Road and then so on and so forth. So it needs to be explained one way or another. And obviously there's a lot of things that happen there that eventually bring us to the point of that history being erased. I mean, that must have been a huge deal because like you go to the Breezy Quarter in Scarlet Kylo in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind and like there's no representation of Daybreak Town transforming into that previous version of Scarlet. It just goes straight to the new one. So, like, what happened? Yeah.
And something tells me that someone used Master Defender to do the same shit to Scala as they did.
Locked it away.
With, Land of Departure into, what do you call it? Castle Oblivion. But it's funny because every time people tell me, it's like, man, back cover, that movie's not that good. I always recite that one line that Billy does in Billy and Mandy, The Grim Adventures, like, am I the little one who understands the complexities of this ambitious cinematic masterpiece? This movie isn't stupid. You're stupid.
That's it. Yeah.
Every time.
Speak.
It is. It's so good. But I'm seeing a bunch of sentiments in the chat saying that they would rather have it be a game than a movie. And I'm like, yeah, trust me, same. But I feel that we're currently at the point in time in Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 4's development where, like, repurposing what repurposing what Missing Link was going to be into a game, like a game for the Switch 2 or Switch or whatever, or like PC game, would take way too much, extra development time that could truly affect like the nature and release schedule of Kingdom Hearts 4 if they're trying to get this to come out before, alongside it, after the fact. And then a lot of people really don't understand, like, I've seen a lot of people, because like after this we're gonna move on to just like straight up positives for Kingdom Hearts 4, but a lot of people were celebrating the idea of Missing Link being canceled, saying that, oh, now they could focus on Kingdom Hearts 4. Now Kingdom Hearts 4's development is going to go faster. I'm like, no, if anything, this could mean Kingdom Hearts 4 takes longer in development because of all of those story elements that were meant to be in Missing Link, that was meant to connect with Kingdom Hearts 4. If they don't regulate that and incorporate that into 4, into a new game, into a movie, if they don't do it the right way, or if they don't do it in a timely way, then they're gonna have to pick and choose elements that we're going to connect from Missing Link into 4, implement them into 4, but they can't put all of that into 4 because Kingdom Hearts 4 is Kingdom Hearts 4, right? So then all the elements they put in, they're gonna have to do rewrites, they're gonna have to incorporate that to make it make sense, and all those elements that are not gonna make it, it's like, oh, these didn't make the cut, those can affect supposed characters that could have been in Kingdom Hearts 4, cutscenes that could have been in Kingdom Hearts 4, dialogue that could have been in Kingdom Hearts 4, that would all have to be completely rewritten, repurposed, or reincorporated in terms of what makes it through the the threshold, or what doesn't make it. So when people are like, oh, that means Kingdom Hearts 4's development is gonna go faster, I'm like, no, it could mean the complete opposite. It means more to the complete opposite than Kingdom Hearts 4 going faster, but I just had to get that off my chest. So yeah,
it's interesting because that was definitely like a big debate that sort of ensued when Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was announced to be cancelled. But I personally kind of look at it a different way, because I don't think that Missing Link was developed in mind to be essential to Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't think that Square Enix were thinking, all right, yeah, everyone is going to play Missing Link, especially if you're just looking at like casual players who don't really keep up with Kingdom Hearts. But hey, if like a big numbered title comes out, especially 4, because 2 + 2 is 4, and Kingdom Hearts 2 was a great game, so this must also be pretty great. They're going to play it, right?
Right.
So like, I don't know. I think it's going to be more so like now. I don't know if there's going to be a ton of work that'll be required. More so, things that may have had more context if you had played Missing Link will now just remain a mystery. As Kingdom Hearts games always go, there's mysteries. Those things just become more mysteries.
But the reason why I'm so bent on that is because, one, the whole thing that Mickey, as we see in the screenshots and from Melody of Memory, Mickey is confirmed to explore not Missing Link, but Scarlet Calm, and that, like, at the very least, if it was only Mickey's own campaign that would relate to Missing Link, that's still substantial in my opinion. And then to say that, oh, Missing Link, yeah, it's probably not going to connect that hard into Kingdom Hearts 4. And I'm like, I don't see it that way, because Kingdom Hearts 4 being the beginning of the Lost Master arc is built completely off the back of Union Cross and Dark Road, right? So that's why I'm like, I think Missing Link is a bit more substantial in that sense, so... I
guess for me, I have faith that they want to be able to tell a story that doesn't require the need to be able to play, or to have to play, a mobile game. I think that, looking at Kingdom Hearts 3, they sort of said a similar thing, though I think it's even more important now, just given the Lost Master arc literally revolves around key things that happened within Key.
Yeah.
But I think I've got faith in them that they never intended to develop Kingdom Hearts 4's story with knowing Missing Link, but you'll just get more out of that story. And
absolutely, I do agree with that. Absolutely, I don't think that it's like it's so hell bent, but there are going to be important facets.
There will, 4. And I do think that again, going back to what I was saying before, like I think that there will be some of those things that were going to be big wow moments for Missing Link that'll now be reincorporated back into Kingdom Hearts 4, and most likely during the Mickey Scala segment. I think that's purely just going to kind of educate Mickey on like the happenings of UX, but maybe there'll be some like new ML source that's also chucked on top of that.
Right.
Very deep within the archives of that library section, there's like, oh, there was also this other history that got erased at some point, and something might happen.
At the very most, I honestly believe that the most important thing from Missing Link that Mickey could discover in Skyline Column is, aspects and the true nature of the astral plane, right? Because one of those images in the Kingdom Hearts 4 images all the way at the bottom just screams that to me. And that maybe that is how Sora is gonna be able to jump from world to world from Quadratum, even though he's not supposed to be able to, even though Sigurd said that, like, if this ain't the path you want, you can jump to any world. Your options are limitless. And the fact that it's Sigurd, like, I honestly 100% he's talking about the astral plane. He's like, hey, you can use this to go anywhere you want, but if you want to go back home, I don't think that's gonna work out. Right? Yeah. So,
trust the Mer to make the entire GPS function so critical to the Kingdom Hearts story. That's classic. But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. There will be the need to sort of explain those important things that were clearly set up in Missing Link to further expand on what happens in the future. So there will be some additional work that will be required for KH4, I think, from that point of view. But no doubt the Missing Link team is now being absolved back into the Kingdom Hearts 4 team. And I think really just looking at Kingdom Hearts, there should just be one team, one big team making a game, bump that game out. All right, let's start working on the next one. Cutting them up, dividing them, considering it takes us so long to receive the games now. I think that's just more efficient when it comes to Kingdom Hearts.
Right. Now I get that.
Have the whole crew working on it.
All right. So now I feel that we've squashed the sadness that is Missing Link and its incorporation into Kingdom Hearts 4. So let's talk about all the positives almost an hour on. It's going to be good. It's going to be grand. So with that being said, I have a very important question for both of y'all. And then will hopefully get more Kingdom Hearts juice off the ground. Sarah, so Summer Game Fest, how are we feeling?
I mean, I'm a clown for every single event. I show up, I'm a clown. I mean, I'm one of those people where I think it's fun to just get hyped. If I don't get a trailer, it's not the end of the world. I'm not I might be a little disappointed, but it's whatever. But I think it's fun to just be like, yeah, this is it. We're getting Kingdom Hearts 4. I do think that this, and I say this every time, but regardless, I do think that this is one of the best chances that we've had in a very long time to actually get a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. I could see it.
Great.
I could really see it because we're getting really far. It's been years now, and we got the screenshots. I could, and Jeff obviously has connections to Nomura. He's gotten us Rebirth at Summer Game Fest. So I really, and he also knows how crazy we are. We know this.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's well aware. He's well aware. Yeah. 100%.
I think there's a possibility there. Do I think it's for sure gonna happen? No, and I obviously keep that in the back of my head, but I'm still gonna show up as a clown. I'm gonna get excited. I'm gonna get hyped, and I'm gonna hope for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh,
that's
good, and I love that. I love that a lot because that in this community especially, God, there is so much policing towards people's excitement factor, and it's shattering, man. It is absolutely shattering. Just let people get excited. Sure, there are people out there that do genuinely have these massive expectations and then wild out afterwards, but I think the majority of people aren't like that. We get excited, and if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's
onwards
why we
and upwards
clown
to the next one.
Realize we're clowns, or we use the clown armor to deflect the disappointment. That's the point.
Yeah, we're self-aware.
Yeah. But
the whole clown thing's it's irony. It really is. It's just irony.
Yeah.
And it's funny because for the longest, it's no secret that I do contain some disdain for Jeff Keighley. I appreciate the good he's done for the industry, but at the same time, he's called the Dorito Pope for a reason, right? And he's gotten better. I'm No, he hasn't, but I mean, it's not like a better thing. It's just like he's willing to accept cash to like push forward what he's able to do in the industry. And then that's a double-edged sword when you think about like, oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing because good things come out of it, but then bad things come out of it. Whereas like, y'all remember Game Awards 2019 where the last game, like the fucking show ender, was the Fast and Furious game that looked like a PS2 dog shit that ended up getting shadow dropped afterwards. I'm like, this is what ended Game Awards. Remember that. Right, so like when it comes to my view of Summer Game Fest and Jeff Keighley has the potential to bring the noise. He's done so multiple times, but he has put on some dog shit shows, so it's always like a coin flip with him. And then, you know, him and Kingdom Hearts seem to be like, oh, it's like what they call flour and glue, right? But I do agree with Sarah in the sense that this year, you know, obviously we say it every time, it's like we look for reasons and then we make sense out of them. That's how we are when we're Kingdom Hearts fans. But this year seems pretty strong, even though I personally still don't believe in Jeff, but it looks pretty strong considering the screenshots, considering how active the social media accounts for Kingdom Hearts have been lately, and considering like the cancellation of missing Link, and you know, maybe they're like garnering a what do you call it, Kingdom Hearts 4 trade. And then remember, some Square Enix personnel have tweeted and posted out saying that like, oh, if you guys love Kingdom Hearts updates, if you like the screenshots, make sure you subscribe to this newsletter, make sure you follow these accounts and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know, you don't really say that if
the eye emoji as well.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really say that unless, you know, you want eyes on your product for the foreseeable future, right? And then something for me that ties it all together in a bow, which I have to bring up, is Zach Pokres. So if y'all don't know the whole deal with Zach Pokres, and I really hope I'm saying that right, Zach Pokres is a voice actor who recently tweeted out the projects that he was attached to or has done work on over the past year. And one of those projects, and he literally tweeted out with a very big disclaimer saying, oh, this last one I was able to get permission for without showing off anything, was Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, that tweet has since been deleted, and we can try and discuss on why that is, but I want to, not assume, but I want to believe that wasn't an indicator for the game coming out anytime soon. It was more of an indicator that voice work was needed for promotional material, like a trailer or a teaser or anything like that. And it's honestly to the point where I will go out on a limb, and I've heard his voice work. I'll go on a limb and I'm like, he might be the English voice actor for Sigurd, right? To narrate a trailer, right? But then of course, you know, that's all speculation and whatnot. So I want to throw that ball over to Jared specifically, and I wanted to get your take on that before we move on to, you know, why that could have been deleted. But if you want to get into it, be my guest.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see. I think the dude is legit, by the way, because there's obviously a lot of talk about this at the moment. Mm-hmm. With people saying, like, is he trolling? He
has no reason to troll or to lie. So, like, we were talking about this before the stream, so, like, yeah, get into it.
He'd be, like, totally jeopardizing his position by doing something like that, and that would effectively, like, sever ties, I think, with any potential of him working with Square Enix in the future, creating such big discourse, if he was just making this kind of stuff up. I genuinely don't think he was, like, trolling or anything.
Right.
I think more so, yeah, as we were talking about, it really just does seem like a case of miscommunication where the agency who take on all of the voice recordings and stuff perhaps maybe thought to themselves or heard from someone that maybe didn't have the complete green light, yeah, it's okay for you to share this on social media, but turns out, no, they didn't actually have permission from either Square Enix or Disney, and it was a big whoopsie moment. Because it is unusual, totally unusual, for a game as big as Kingdom Hearts to have this random, hey, I'm doing voice acting, I've worked on voice acting for the game, info drop. And obviously it does send signals of back in the day. I think it was 2014 to 2015, wasn't it, with Bill Farmer?
Yeah, it was 2015.
I think, though, what people have to understand here is, while those two situations are definitely similar, it is different here with Kingdom Hearts 4, only because KH4 is a lot further along with its development cycle than Kingdom Hearts 3 was back when Bill Farmer came out talking. Yeah. Exactly. At that point, I think they were 1.5 years into development of Kingdom Hearts 3 on UE4. So that's still early days. This is a lot different. We're kind of approaching 6 years. By the start of next year, we'll be looking at about 6 years, which is a long-ass time. So right now,
big-ass time.
While I do think that, yeah, most likely the recording probably had something to do with a trailer. If it is going to be Sigurd, that does make sense, as it seems like, he's playing an important role. I think it also does relate, though, to English voice acting. Maybe he did record all of his lines for that said character, as maybe it's a smaller role.
Right.
But the game, there's no reason not to think that the game is closing up its development cycle, because it's been in development for a long-ass time now. Like, a long-ass time. So I think, as time goes on from here on forward, the realm of possibility just increases furthermore and furthermore and furthermore as the game is getting more and more cooked. So Summer Games Fest, there is a good chance. One thing, though, I always go back to is just kind of like looking at the way they worded that initial tweet about the Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots, mentioning, until the time is right.
Yeah, until the time's right. That definitely belays the ideas of like, oh, you're gonna have to wait again. Like,
it does, but who knows?
Yeah.
They red herring. They could be fronting. Who knows? The time is right. That could be the beginning of June, or it could be at a state of play randomly sometime else throughout the year, or it could be Tokyo Game Show. My initial speculation was like Game Awards, have a trailer, and then the promotional cycle of the game kicks off sort of, I don't know, sometime June next year or May, March, whatever next year, the true cycle.
Right.
But we'll see. I think there's as Sarah was saying, there's better chance now than we've ever had. So I'm excited. I'm pumped. I think there's a lot of good pointers here to suggest that we're not too far away from a trailer. So
right. So I do want to point out something very interesting, and it deals with a story with a voice actor friend of mine. I'm not gonna say who it is, and I'm not gonna say the role, and I'm not gonna say the project, right? Because it is like a story set in confidence. And don't worry, I'm not. There's nothing I will say in the story to allude who it is, so don't try. But basically, the story that they told me belays the idea that they were in a main role for a project, but they recorded their lines for said project like forever ago, right? Like years ago, to the point where they were thinking like, for the longest, I didn't know if this project would see the light of day, right? And it did. So when it comes to Zach Procrest's designation on like, oh, I did voice work, a lot of people are like, oh, is he trolling? Is he lying? No. But of course, we're not going to know what type of role he's done in Kingdom Hearts 4, because it could easily be anything from a main character to a side character to NPC work, right? And each of those facets leads to a completely different state of thinking of where Kingdom Hearts 4 could be in development, or where its promotional material could be in creation. Where like, okay, let's say he does NPC. So like, all right, so like Zach did voice work for the game. He voiced some NPCs. And then people was at first glance, they were like, okay, he does some NPCs. All right, that's good. You're in Kingdom Hearts 4 and whatnot. But then when you think about it, it's like, okay, but NPCs, there is literally no reason for NPC work to get done like super early in development. Like NPC work would come later. All right, we need some people to fill out the voice lines of people that are passing you by in Quadratum, people that are getting attacked by Heartless that Sword needs to save. We need you, and whatnot. That comes like way after the fact, right? And if Zach did NPC works, then that could lead to the idea, it's like, oh, is Kingdom Hearts 4 way further in development? That's one facet. Then side characters is the idea of like, oh, a side character, you know, someone that could be a party member, someone that could be a very important, like, not guest, but a guiding role within Quadratum. They could have recorded those lines forever ago, and whatnot, and then finally sees the light of day. So maybe like, if he's recording within the past year, then Kingdom Hearts 4 could be a couple of years off. And then it comes to like main roles, to like, recording all of those main roles, all those main lines and whatnot. When it comes to English dubbing of main roles, that also teeters on the idea of that it could be at the end of development, or depending on like how important the role is. If they're still writing the character, it could be as early as, all right, we need you to voice these lines. All right, we need you to come back and voice these lines. We need you to come in and voice these lines. So it could be in parts, which could literally, that facet could mean the game is anywhere in development. So like NPCs, further development, side characters, longer development, or main characters, it could be anywhere in development. So that's a perspective that I want to make sure that everyone has in their heads,
for sure.
Because like it could mean anything. Now I went off that tangent, but I had to come back to there you go, Summer Game Fest. Yeah, I think that the chances are pretty strong considering considering Zach's tweet, considering the screenshots, considering other aspects like the Kingdom Hearts Art Museum, Museum World, Art Museum,
Museum,
yeah, those cards that are coming out in Japan in, I'm pretty sure it was August, yeah. Which I'm gonna get boxes while I'm there. Hopefully by the time I'm there, it's not gonna sell out, I'm hoping. But there are a couple of secret arts for that, right? And I'm thinking like, those secret arts could be Kingdom Hearts 4 related. If we get a trailer at Summer Game Fest, like a trailer at least before the release of those cards, so like set up, check it out. Sora in a Kingdom Hearts 4 post, Sora, Kingdom Hearts 4 art, or the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary art in a card. I think these are all very substantial and potential indicators that like, we could see something.
Yeah, there's so many pointers. There's a lot of things that are kind of leaning in our favor right now. And yeah, like you said, I'd like to imagine that like they'll drop a new art or something on Twitter, and maybe those 2 secret cards will be of those arts or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of pointers. I think that there's a good chance, and I think people should be excited. Just if you are excited, just know it might not happen until a few months later, and hey, that's cool. The world still keeps spinning, and regardless of whether or not Kingdom Hearts happens at Summer Games Fest, there'll be some other cool shit that comes out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then looking forward to it.
Here is another tangent. Like a homie of mine, I was talking with a friend of mine earlier today, and here's another tangent that I want to like throw you guys on really quick to get you guys to like shake it up, because like you don't know what you could find in the 5th dimension. All right, so I'm gonna catch Sarah off guard really quick, and I'm gonna be like, hey, so let's talk about voice work once again. Zach made a tweet, but a couple of weeks ago, was it weeks or days? So something like days and change ago, another very, very prominent voice actor made an Instagram post about him being back in the booth. So,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Cody.
Yeah, Cody. Do you think that is specifically for Final Fantasy Remake Project Part 3, or what if he's voicing Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 4?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I would love for this to be Cloud Kingdom Hearts. Okay, that's what I would prefer. Only because I really want Kingdom Hearts 4 to come out before the next remake. I mean, I'm not like it's whatever, but anyway, I mean it could be him doing voice work for Final Fantasy VII remake series for a trailer is what I think maybe would make sense.
Yeah.
I think that makes more sense than him voice acting for Kingdom Hearts. Although I would love that. I would love that. But I just can't really.
No, I definitely feel that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would like. But yeah, no, I don't think so.
I'm completely down for it because, like, you know, there's also that big discussion of like, from what we've seen in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, they got the original voice actors for Yuffie, Sid, and Aerith, right? And then of course Squall, but Squall's a Final Fantasy VIII character. So, and then there's the, you know, discussion on like, are they gonna continue doing that for Kingdom Hearts, or are they gonna try and get some like, you know, synergy going with the Final Fantasy VII remake cast, like the new voice actors? And I feel like it could easily go either way, especially considering that if, you know, a lot of people have made theories of like Cloud making it to Quadratum after his and Sephiroth's disappearance from Kingdom Hearts 2, where they went was Quadratum, and then, you know, not that they could lift the models from Remake Rebirth, but they can use those as a base to make models for Sephiroth and Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 4, and then, you know, Cody voicing Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 4. But if it's not Kingdom Hearts related, you know, I'm with you, Sarah, in the idea, like, I really do want Kingdom Hearts 4 to come out before Remake Part 3. But if it is Remake Part 3 related, I feel like, and I said this with my homie, that I feel like it's going to be for a teaser trailer that may or may not be at Summer Game Fest, because I mean, we saw a Rebirth trailer at Summer Game Fest before, that it could be a Remake Part 3 teaser in which it reveals the Remake Part 3 subtitle, and it's just narrated by Cloud, right? Because we haven't seen any posts from like the voice actors for Tifa or Barrett or Yuffie or Sephiroth or anything like that. It was just Cloud's voice actor Cody, right? So it could be narrated by Cloud in the sense like, oh, you see the trailer and Cloud's like, Aerith is gone. We are making our way to the Northern Crater. I still have these feelings, and then like, you know, something like that, like ominous, you know, it's just like, and then you see the high wind heading towards, you know, the crater or whatnot, and then it just reveals that. So like,
something small, 30 seconds.
I don't think, I'm gonna be honest, like I mean I could be wrong, and I would like to be wrong, but I kind of feel like Nomura is trying to slowly ease those Final Fantasy characters out of Kingdom Hearts, and
absolutely.
I kind of feel like Limit Cut was like, here, dang, like, sheesh, okay. So I don't really, I don't know. I understand why people want the Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts still that were in it previously, but I think Nomura's just created so many of his own original characters that at this point it probably just complicates things. Yeah. So I feel like he is trying to kind of ease them out, especially now that he's trying to put his Versus 13 stuff in there. So I don't know.
The whole game is basically just Final Fantasy.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not enough.
So it's funny to bring that up, because I honestly 100% agree with you, Sarah. It's just that for me, and this is not absolutely, there's not discounting anything you say. It's just, for me, it's so funny that it's at this point in time that he could be doing that, where we're now in a setting where they would make the most sense. You know what I mean?
For sure. I'd be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So I still hold true that, like, all right, Cloud, Sephiroth, they fought, they left Quadratum. They're in Quadratum. Tifa as Cloud's Light was able to follow him to Quadratum, and then Barrett was there the whole time, and then we get Kingdom Hearts 4 Quadratum's version of Avalanche. And they are fighting forces. They're out here trying to blow up Gigas's depots, because there are weapons that constantly, like, you know, they're big weapons that mean only destruction for Japan or whatnot, and that they're gonna fight the remnants of Sephiroth, the Avalanche, and they're gonna fight Kadaj, Laz, and Yuzu. And then each time you beat them, they're gonna combine back into Sephiroth, and Sephiroth's gonna be the true secret boss of the game. And then he's gonna have fucking Genova as a stand, and then
Whoa.
Yeah, it could make sense. It could actively make sense.
That's me.
Given where the story's at the moment. Yeah.
Good.
100%. 100%.
I'm sorry.
I'm
cool
with it though. Like I don't think Kingdom Hearts needs Final Fantasy, because this is also like another big discussion point. But like, it's been there since day one, and it's just kind of, it does feel weird. There was that weird feeling of absence in Kingdom Hearts 3, because it is one of the big major titles where, for the base game, there was this obvious lack, other than just cameos and stuff like the constellations and the cacta in Toy Box and stuff. it was just cameo type stuff, small cameo references. So it doesn't need it, and I understand that like Kingdom Hearts can stand on its own 2 feet without Final Fantasy, but then it does also feel strange for it to just be kind of gone, if you know what I mean. And I think Nomura and the team are sort of trying to study what are the things that people really enjoyed about previous Kingdom Hearts games. I mean, this is the reason why we're seeing the reaction command system return in KH4, is because, wow, we didn't know this, but like at first we thought people hated that system. People actually really enjoy that system. So maybe they're going back and looking at, all right, what are the specific strands of DNA from throughout the, running course of Kingdom Hearts that people like, and what of those can we kind of put back in? And there was a massive outcry, like you said, Sarah, like with the limit cut. That is, I feel like, and pandering. It is. It's like fan service, 100%. Here's your dose of Final Fantasy in KH3. It's done and dusted. Do not hit me up anymore. That's basically what that is. Shut the fuck up. There are your characters. Yeah. That's it. So, and I think he was actually asked about Final Fantasy in Kingdom Hearts 4, and he more or less kind of reiterated the same thing when he was asked the same question.
He dodged around it. He's like, "Oh, we're exploring our options. We hear you. We'll see what we can do," and then that's it.
And he mentioned we've got so many characters like in Kingdom Hearts, so it's trying to find this balance of like we need to ensure the original Kingdom Hearts characters are written well.
Yeah.
Maybe if we've got enough time, we'll slot some Final Fantasy in. But obviously, the Kingdom Hearts characters, they kind of hold priority. So, I don't know. I think he's aware of it, and that holds better chances this time around than it does. But
we'll say this, though. He said before, which, I mean, is something we can obviously see in Kingdom Hearts 4, that the original Kingdom Hearts characters moving forward in 4 and possibly the rest of the Last Master arc, they're going to get gutted. Like, so... There's more space. Final Fantasy. I want to see the lightning.
Yo, that's right.
Like, yeah.
Well,
that's right.
I think there's no reason not to have Final Fantasy. Like, I this is my stance on it. Like, I think if Nomura wants to ease out of it and not have them be like super important to the plot, that makes sense. I totally get that. But to not let them at least have like a cameo just to make people happy, like, I don't really see the harm in that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an integral part of Kingdom Hearts' DNA when you've also got like all of the similar item naming to that of Final Fantasy and certain systems that derived from Final Fantasy, like it or not, Final Fantasy is a part of Kingdom Hearts.
It's in the DNA. Yes, absolutely.
It is.
That's why I'm like Clive Rossfield in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, just anyone at this point. Give me the Chocobo. It's crazy that we haven't seen a Chocobo, like one of the most iconic Final Fantasy creatures.
What are you talking about, Jared? It was the
on the
keychain. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, we've got like a reference, but I mean like an actual Kingdom Hearts version, like how we kind of have.
No, man, it's right there on your Zora's coat. What are you talking about?
The charm? I want the bird.
You want the bird? So what?
I want the actual bird.
So we can eat it.
So we can deep fry. No.
Now
walk.
And man, they made chocobo soup. Chocobo soup sounds good right now. Shit.
Do they actually eat chocobos in like the Final Fantasy universe? Is that a thing?
Yes, in some games, yeah, because like in 16 there is the chocobo soup that your uncle was eating in the bar, and then when they're all like when all the enemies, like in that desert area, and the enemies like came and started bumping, and he's grabbing all the bread, he grabs the soup, and he just like dives behind the bar while Clive takes care of him. Yeah, Uncle Bar in there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Funny.
So, with that being said, I feel like Final Fantasy has a good avenue to return in Kingdom Hearts 4, especially considering like the characters, the characters in Kingdom Hearts 4 is obviously going to get reduced. And like I say this as a Roxas fan. Roxas is my favorite Kingdom Hearts character. I don't see him having a place in Kingdom Hearts 4. And it hurts me saying that there is a bunch of Kingdom Hearts characters, original characters, that I will like, I definitely see this character showing up in Kingdom Hearts 4. I made a whole post about it on Twitter, and that shit went viral for a little bit. And Jared is fine. Jared is safe because like I honestly believe that Laurium has a really good chance of being in Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah. I mean, he's Strelitzia's sister, and he's a member of the Union Cross gang. So with that being said, I do want to bring up a notion that I talked about earlier on Twitter, and then Sarah brought up the phone, specifically the phone, right, in the images, and I honestly believe, like, oh, people's like, what's the phone gonna do? What's the phone gonna do? What's the phone gonna do? I think that the phone is gonna be Sora's way to communicate with all of his homies back home, right? But the reason why it's a rotary phone, opposed to like the fucking grand technology we see in Quadratum, like they have smartphones there, right? And there's the gummy phone and whatnot, and then people back home have the gummy phone. The reason why it's a rotary phone is because like it's a special type of phone that's able to connect to the gummy phone back home, but they won't be able to see Sora, right? Which adds to the tragedy. It's like, oh, you're gone and I can't even see you, but I can hear you and whatnot. It's just like that. And then the phone, I'm taking a huge page out of Devil May Cry 5, and if you guys know exactly what scene I'm talking about, this is the page I'm ripping out of it, where like every time Sora completes a world or a chapter, you know, like if the worlds are dictated by chapters and whatnot, because I believe the flow of Kingdom Hearts 4 is that Sora goes to a world, defeats the world, stops, and then a Mickey episode happens, like a little campaign, kind of like how Paper Mario 1 and 2 did it. And then after that, Sora gets on the phone, calls someone up, and then after each individual world, one of his homies picks up, right? So like, let's say Sora beats the first world. He picks up the phone, calls somebody, it's Kairi, has a conversation with Kairi. Next world, defeats the world, comes back to his apartment, rotates the phone, blah, blah, blah. He picks up the phone, it's Roxas, right? And then each time he reconnects with each of the homies that are back home, they each give him advice. They tell him how they miss him in their own way and whatnot. And then these are ways to incorporate characters. Because, like, and then don't get me wrong, I do believe Kairi physically is gonna be in Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, she's gonna make her way to Quadratum by the end of the game, but I do believe she'll be one person on the phone call. But everybody else, like, let's say Roxas, Naminé, Aqua, but all those people that aren't gonna physically show up in Kingdom Hearts 4, they could still be in Kingdom Hearts 4 through that perspective, where they're you know, their phone calls with Sora showing like, oh, and same voice actors, same everything, is just like, oh, you know, we miss you and whatnot, blah blah blah, stay safe, you know, we're trying our best to bring you home, type shit. So that's why I think the phone is for.
Yeah, I think like one thing that's been brought up is the use of the wind phone, which the black phone, I don't know if you guys know the horror movie The Black Phone, which is based off of Stephen King's son's novel from like the early 2000s. But it's essentially like a rotary phone that's used to apparently communicate with dead people. It was something that actually derived from Japan. A man, I think he lost his wife, and he set this phone up, which was a rotary phone, as a coping mechanism to deal with the loss of his wife. And so it's this thing of, you can communicate to people on the other side, but you can hear them, but they can't hear you, vice versa. And it's interesting too, if we look at Melody of Memory, it would.
Yeah,
because
I
if
see
you
what you're
think
putting
of
down,
Melody of Memory, you know, the moment where his voice can't reach us, that specific scene, that could very well likely be a situation of Sora using the phone there. So and that would be terrible, like that horrible for Sora. He can hear them, but they can't. Yeah, they can hear him, but no, sorry, he can hear them, but they can't.
They can't hear us.
Him.
Yeah, like
that kind of thing.
But maybe, I like, that's really dark, and that's definitely up Kingdom Hearts 4's alley. But like, let me tweak it a little bit. Let me tweak this a little bit. Like because it's Sora, right? It's Sora, right? The connection of his heart is so powerful that even though his voice can't reach them, he was still able to help Kairi at the end of Melody of Memory. So I want to hope, if we're going to go off that legend specifically, that Sora dials, person picks up, he tries to talk, they can't hear it, but they know it's Sora, right? So they basically leave a message for him. But it won't be a conversation. It will just be a message for him, right? And then Sora will hear that message, and then, like, you know, tears run down his eyes, hangs up, and then, like, you know, gets the strength to do it again next world and shit like that. So that shit, yeah.
This game's gonna hurt, man.
Yeah, no, this game's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's what I like though.
Yo,
Yeah,
Sarah's like,
yeah.
yes, pain.
Make me emotional. Make me emotional.
Please.
No, it's cool. And something else that I've been thinking about to do with the phone is obviously gummy travel, because like we've got no idea how traveling from one world to another kind of works. It would be sort of cool if like the phone acted as a means of transportation in some form, like a dive system or something, and that phone can actually be found. Maybe you're replacing the save point. Like, I don't know. I don't really want to give up like the classic warp portal, but maybe in Quadratum that's what a warp portal kind of looks like, in that there is a phone set up in all of the different worlds you visit.
Right.
But that's another interesting thing too, just thinking about how you go from one world to another, and is the phone maybe a means of doing that?
Right. It's like, I dialed this number. That'd be really cool to think about. Like, oh, let's say like Sora goes around some Quadratum and then finds like a number somewhere in the world. Like he unlocks the number and he's like, all right, let's try dialing this number.
Chucks it into the dial.
And then,
yeah.
And then just gets fucking thrown into Atlantis. And then like, oh, let's try this number. Gets thrown into fucking
that's cool.
Coco and
that's
shit.
Cool.
Yeah. I'd be down for
that's
something
cool.
like that.
That's cool. Because Nomura did mention that, like, I think he specified in the early game, the apartment is, because it looks like that phone is probably going to be in the apartment.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just a wall in like a table, so it could be literally anywhere. But he did mention that it was sort of going to be like a base of operations. So you're kind of constantly, you know, going out to worlds and then returning back to the hub world Quadratum in your apartment, doing different things and whatnot. And like you said, perhaps having those conversations on the phone, and then you'll jump to another world and then come back, which is actually a concept I really like. I really like this idea of returning back to the hub world, something we saw a lot in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Not so much in 3. So I think that's going to come back again in 4.
You know, it's funny because like a lot of people like they like you said, like, oh, the concept of a hub world, right? And then obviously in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, a lot of people like, you know, consider the hub worlds Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Radiant Garden in Kingdom Hearts 2, right? But while they had the energy and the aspects of hub worlds, because you're constantly going back to those worlds specifically, like, oh, you go back to Traverse Town the most, you go back to Radiant Garden the most, and then what you do there helps unlock other worlds, right? I'm excited for Quadratum because I want it to be a true hub world in all sense of the word. Because Traverse Town and Radiant Garden, they were hub worlds in energy, but they weren't really hub worlds like you would say. Because like a biggest example of a hub world, Peach's Castle in Super Mario 64, right? That is like the main center world, and then you get to other worlds by hopping through the panes, right? I want Quadratum to be that. I want like, oh, I'm going back here. It's gonna be a massive explorer area. More areas will be unlocked, and then I go and then access more worlds and whatnot. Because even though Traverse Town and Radiant Garden had that energy, like the way you access worlds was through the lanes between in the gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, and in Birth by Sleep, right? So I want Quadratum to be that, like, okay, full on explorable, and we find either gates or you go by the phone, like, you know, you explore Quadratum and you find an area, defeat a Heartless, defeat a boss, and then a number gets unlocked out of the phone, go to the next world, and that'll be fine too. But I feel that, you know, for those who've played the game, and I know Jared played it, I don't know if Sarah, I don't know if you ever played Reynaudis.
I haven't played it. No, I haven't though.
All right, you should play. It's worth a play. It's worth a play.
Yeah, I want to play it.
But I feel Quadratum might take that route. You know what I mean, Jared? Like where like, oh, it
with
opens
the
gates
portals
around around the city and shit. So
I like that. I like the idea of, you know, a world being the central core that links all of the content, and so you're constantly returning to that core to engage outwards or inwards into all of the different strings of content, you know, provide reason to go back to that hub world.
Oh yeah.
Because outside of the forced story segments, I mean, there's no real reason, right, to return to Traverse Town to like do your shopping. Well, actually, in Kingdom Hearts 1 there kind of is, because you didn't have the world Moogles. that idea actually changed in Kingdom Hearts 2. You had the world Moogles, so there was never really any reason to kind of return and do your shopping. So,
Exactly.
I don't know, provide reason to return to a world to really emphasize that it is a hub world, and that kind of setup would absolutely make it a true hub world in that fashion.
Oh yeah, especially considering that, like, from what we know so far, that, you know, if you've been living under a rock, Quadratum is based on the real world city of Tokyo, and so far we're dealing with Shibuya, Shinjuku, and Minato, right? And like, if we're just gonna go off of those three, that's already pretty big, right? You know, like, maybe it'll go as far as Roppongi, and then like people are like, oh, Harajuku is technically like part of both of Shibuya and Shinjuku, right? But if we're just going off of those three words specifically, that's a lot of ground to explore, like a lot, right? And like, I want to see how one-to-one this type of exploration is in terms of, like, you know, Quadratum, of where we can explore. And, you know, the ones we use is a good indicator. You know, Reynaudus is a good indicator. And people are like, oh, but Persona. I'm like, Persona is very segmented, you know, like, yes, Persona 5, you know, Shibuya, and it's just Shibuya, right? And you can go on the trains, and the train system is actually like, when you go down into the tunnels where, like, oh, go this train, it's pretty like almost one-to-one to like, and I've been to Japan twice, so I'm like, oh shit, it's like Persona, this, how the fuck do you get around? And like, it's, you know, mildly confusing, but I would like to see Kingdom Hearts 4's exploration in Quadratum that robust, right? And then if it is, it would elevate that game in that specific degree over 1, 2, and 3. And I'm like, and that's something I'm really excited for. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because most of the time when Tokyo appears in video games, it's like JRPGs, and they're always JRPGs where the level design is segmented level design.
Yep.
So Kingdom Hearts 4 kind of has this opportunity to sort of present a more open-ended experience of Tokyo, sort of similar to Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a game that came out a few years back. That's an open-world first-person game that takes place in Tokyo, and that was the most like open-ended version of Tokyo that I had ever experienced in a video game, and it was really cool. So I think we'll see a similar thing there, just given how much more open-ended worlds were in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right. So I like, you know, because obviously Kingdom Hearts 3 put down that type of like that makeup, that design aspect, and I want to see them explore that more in Kingdom Hearts 4. But I want to throw the ball over to Sarah and get your take on the idea, like, okay, so like, you know, how do you feel on Quadratum being like a big, expansive, explorable world? And do you feel that's something that Kingdom Hearts needs? Or it's something like, okay, yeah, I'd rather go back to like Travis Town or Radiant Garden. How do you feel on that?
I think Quadratum being like the main hub makes sense. Though for the other characters it doesn't. So maybe we'll have that as Sora's hub, and then maybe a different hub if we play as other characters. I have no idea how they're gonna do it.
I like that. Hold up.
Like, that would be pretty cool, yeah.
Right. You know, because I mean, like, you know, obviously we got the confirmation of a playable Mickey, but that's Scarlet Cop. So imagine if, like, you know, for Sora specifically, we only know Shibuya and Minato. Imagine we got reverse rebirth style for Riku, who's only in Shinjuku, because that's where he woke up in the Kingdom Hearts 3, what they call it, the secret movie. So I like that, because I mean, these are big areas, you guys. So like, imagine like straight up, just like, oh, if I'm gonna control Riku's only in Shinjuku. All right, Sarah.
Yeah.
I see.
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah,
That is cool.
But I don't
I do.
really have like a specific preference. I guess I would just be happy to see a little bit more or a little bit less Disney. Like, I love Disney, and I'm not saying like no Disney.
No, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, just a little less Disney in Kingdom Hearts 4, a little more of these original areas would be great.
Oh yeah,
Because it did feel almost, and I love Kingdom Hearts 3, I truly do. But it felt a little bit like
choose
being
your words wisely. Choose
I know,
your next words wisely.
the Disney, because I think they know that, Disney really helps Kingdom Hearts like pop off. I was actually going through like the most viewed Kingdom Hearts videos on YouTube, and almost all of them, almost all of them are just the cutscenes from like Disney. It's crazy, and I feel like it really helps kind of push Kingdom Hearts out there. But it did feel as if, compared to other Kingdom Hearts games, if we're mainly just looking at the mainline ones, that Disney was being shoved down our throats a little bit in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's not really a bad thing, but if you're looking at balance of like Disney to original worlds, and as I've come to realize, most people's favorite worlds throughout Kingdom Hearts games are generally the original ones, then it's kind of like, yeah, we want a bit more of a balance going on. I think the most interesting moments happen in those original worlds.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like it's more of a mixed bag. I'm sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna say like with Kingdom Hearts 3, like I'm somebody who likes a good payoff. So like even though Kingdom Hearts 3 was very like Disney front loaded, the ending like makes up for that for me. Like
it was very original.
But I do think it could have been balanced better. Yeah, that's all.
I feel that for Kingdom Hearts 4, it might be balanced a bit better, considering that Quadratum is the hub, right? And because, I'm a Disney nut, and I love the perspective. Because I'm always on the boat, and I do believe with all my heart, Kingdom Hearts, that Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 all brought different specific interpretations and presentations to the Disney aspect when it comes to those games. Now, of course, it gets more erratic when we include Birth by Sleep, 358 Days, and all that stuff. But I feel that, Kingdom Hearts' integration, because Disney is, Kingdom Hearts is Disney, but I do like the idea of more original worlds and whatnot. And I feel like Kingdom Hearts 4 is truly the place to experiment with that, considering that the hub world is Quadratum, is the Lost Master arc, and the Lost Masters come from Daybreak Town, which became Scarlet Kylam, and we're going to be dealing with, Masters, Lushu, and the Foretellers, Ava, Envy. I mean, Ava's in the win, but Envy, Gula, Ira, the rest of them. But with that being said, I don't want, and I know this is not what y'all are insinuating, so don't get me wrong, I don't want Disney to go away or get sidelined, right? But I feel there does need to be a bit more of a, I would say, focus is not the word, but a bit more of a, I was just gonna say, for lack of a better term, focus, balance on where Disney shows up, where Sora will be in Quadratum and blah blah blah, and then all this. Because it's funny that ever since those new screenshots came out, I've been seeing a ton, and I mean a ton, of comments on all social media saying wow, this looks so good, I love it, and then people are like, no, go back. It's and then I love the Final Fantasy, no, go back to Disney, so it's a very big division to that. And then at the same time, it's if you play the games, then you would know why he looks like that, and you would know it ain't permanent, right? So
because I can't imagine how jarring, because I was talking about this the other day, how jarring it must be to only be sort of a surface level enjoyer of Kingdom Hearts, where you dip in to the mainline games and you play it here and there, that kind of thing, not really going between with the subtitled stuff or watching the secret movies or really understanding the full context. I can't imagine how jarring it must be to see Kingdom Hearts 4. The first assumption would be, oh, they're really, trying to make this big next-gen version, or the game's going through, an identity crisis or something like that, it just must be insane. It would be me not really keeping up with, I don't know, let's say Xenoblade, for example, because I haven't played any of them.
Don't do it!
And then randomly seeing...
Me and Sarah will literally maul you right now. Don't do it.
That's right. No, but just as an example, just saying seeing the fourth game and it looks hyper realistic. There would obviously be a canonical reason why it does, but I've
Joke's
got no
on you,
idea
Jared.
why
the
it
first
does.
game was hyper realistic once upon a time.
Yeah, as an example, but it must be just like insane
Yeah, no, I feel you. No, I
for
feel you. I feel
people
you,
that
yeah.
don't keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
All right, yo, Sarah.
Interesting.
Jared said it. All right, Jared said it. Xenoblade Hour. All right, so no. Like no. Me and Sarah talked. We have talked about this where we're like, we both like me and her are gonna try and get the rest of y'all, the other 3 key keepers, to get on the Xenoblade thing. If you love Kingdom Hearts, you're gonna love Xenoblade.
I know, that's what I keep hearing.
Like,
That's
yo,
what I keep
Shulk,
hearing,
literally his last weapon, and I don't care if this is spoiler or not, his last weapon looks like an Ultima weapon. Like the Monado 3, sir, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like at the very end, like that.
I know. I gotta do it. I gotta coach myself there.
Sarah,
I gotta coach
It's a
myself.
commitment, but
convince him, Sarah. Do it. Hurry.
Was it like the one thing is that they are big ass games, right? They're long ass games. Yeah.
Yep.
but it's worth it. It's worth your time.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like life changing. You know, it's like one of those games that like changes your brain chemistry. Like for me, it's like. It's not as good as Kingdom Hearts, but almost. It's like it's right there up there with it.
That's big claim. That's big claim.
Yeah, no, it's that good.
And that's what I keep hearing. It's like these similarities.
I would
between
teeter
the
it,
two
man.
with storytelling
I would
and stuff.
teeter it. Like,
It's real good.
it's super
One-
good. And then the payoff that the recent, like, so Xenoblade 1 started a certain way, right? And then we had to wait years for Xenoblade 2 because we got Xenoblade X. Like, so Xenoblade 1 came out 2010, and then Xenoblade X came out 2014. And then we finally got Xenoblade 2 in 2017. From that moment forward, the way that they did the story to like combine everything was just such an electric trip where I'm like, oh my, I need where's my seatbelt? I gotta strap it in. Like it's a commitment.
Yeah.
And Jared, like, wait. Jared, you played MMOs before, right? Because I know Sarah's.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because this is
Yeah.
something that I've asked you, so many times. I know it's not turn-based because I usually shy away from turn-based, but I know that
Yeah.
it's more MMO, kind of like cooldowns, and you're like moving around actively.
It's so funny because the game's official genre designation is action RPG, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this ain't Kingdom Hearts though, like, but it is. It does play like an MMO. Right, and I know like Sarah's like super into Final Fantasy 14, so like that was like, and then like that's no problem for her. But like I want to make sure because I faintly remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, didn't you tell me you used to play WoW once upon a time?
Yeah, for sure.
See,
Yeah.
And there you go. I got a brain. All right.
Yeah, so absolutely, it's right up my alley. I would 100% enjoy the gameplay aspect, which I think is important for me because
all of
even
them
if the
are on
story's good enough.
Switch. All of them.
Yeah,
are on
if the
Switch.
gameplay's lacking,
No,
man,
the
I don't even
gameplay's
own a
good.
Switch anymore.
What happened? What do you mean?
Nah, I just it wasn't getting used. It wasn't getting used, and when I felt like playing a Switch game, bro, I just boot up Yuzu.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, I could always use Yuzu. I guess. Nintendo like in their crosshairs. What the fuck, man? What the fuck, man?
Hey Google, how do you choke someone through a computer screen?
Yeah, they're actively working on that technology.
Oh man.
But no, one game that I am prioritizing right now, which is bizarre for me because it's turn-based, is obviously Expedition 33 because everyone is losing their shit about it at the moment. Even people that don't like it.
Wait, so have you started yet or no?
No, I haven't yet. I'm trying to find some time. But like even people that aren't into turn-based, like I've got 3 of my friends that don't even fuck with RPGs that are like, this is amazing. I'm like, what is happening?
So
What's going on?
It's really good.
The funniest thing is that I have it, but I promised a mod of mine that I have to finish another game. If you guys know what it is, Soccer Wars, I have to finish Soccer Wars before I start Expedition. Right? Now, here's the thing. Now, I know Sarah's played it, and I'm itching because I love turn-based, but the thing is, it's like Final Fantasy Paper Mario, and I'm like...
I think a better way to
With the
describe
action
it is to me it's more like, I mean, it is kind of like that, but
Yeah.
for me it's more challenging than that. It's
Oh, yeah,
more like
absolutely.
a
No,
mixture
absolutely, yeah.
It's like Final Fantasy meets like Elden Ring or like Sekiro, in my opinion.
That's what I keep hearing. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. There's like Soulsy elements because a lot of the devs were big fans of those certain systems, especially the parry system that was inspired through Sekiro.
It's so good.
Which is like insane, yeah.
So I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but I'll say that story again. Did y'all see my tweet where I met Ben Starr?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
All right.
Did
Sarah
you like
saw it.
forgot to post it, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you post it like late?
I posted like a week and a half after the fact, saying, "Hey guys, guess who?" And then I'm like, "Oh wait, I never did this fucking."
Where was that?
So, I went to WeebCon in Texas a couple of weeks ago, not like a month ago. So then,
yeah.
Ben was there, and I went there as a guest. So I was like, I had access to the green room and all that stuff, blah blah blah. blah. And I met a bunch of people. I met Zeno Robinson, who's also a huge Kingdom Hearts fan and an amazing voice actor. And it's funny because so a friend of mine was a friend of his, and we've known each other through Twitter for the longest. And then he's like, "Hey, so my friend wants to meet you." I'm like, "Hey, who?" And then he points at Zeno, and I'm like, "Don't do that." And then apparently a close friend of Zeno, I went, and then we all just like sized each other up. We shook hands because like it was kind of like that energy between like he was on Kingdom Hearts 2 side, I was on Kingdom Hearts 3 side. So like we had this like big ass debate like right in front of his booth about that. And then Alejandro Saab just came out and is like, "Bro, why are you talking to him?" I'm like, "Oh, can't you get out of here, right?" So then like the Florida men ganged up on him. But that's besides the point. The point is, I was in the green room area. And I was just like vibing because I was doing a lot of walking. Ella was there. She was like sitting on another end, but I was in the chair myself. I'm playing Pokemon TCG, and then as I'm playing it, someone comes in from the back rooms into the green area, and I didn't see who they were, and I just noticed their boots because I'm looking down and I see the boots. And I'm like, those boots were like really fucking fire. And I look up and I'm like, "Hey, I really like your boots. Your boots are super cool." Turns around. "Oh, thanks, mate." Right? And it's Ben Starr. And I look up and I'm like, wait. You're Ben Starr. And
You're the guy. You're the guy.
I put my phone down. I get up. I take my glasses off. I'm like brushing myself. I'm like, "Oh," and I like, "It's super nice to meet you. A huge fan of your work." And I'm shaking my hand. And then, but the thing is, as I'm shaking my hand and I'm taking my glasses off, as I'm telling him, he's like, "Oh, thanks." He stops. He points at me and he's like, "I know you." And I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "You're a streamer." And I'm like, "Don't do that." Don't. And I'm looking away the whole time. Like, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that." And he snaps his fingers like, yes, HMK, right? And I'm like, so then after that, we just start talking about our boots. We start talking about games. We start talking about Expedition 33. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, so by the way, I have like the final trailer on my phone." And this is like right before the game came out. And I'm like, "Oh, that's sick. That's sick." He's like, "You want to see it?" It's like, "Oh, no. I'm trying to keep myself like ready for that game." And then we start talking about Expedition 33, and it led to Paper Mario, and then led to Super Mario RPG, and then we just start talking about games for like 20 minutes. But then I had to let him go because I noticed like, "Oh, like I'm sorry," because he came into the green room for an interview, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Again, let me back up. Let me watch you do your work. And then he's like, "Oh no, it was really nice to meet you. Nice to meet you." And it's like, "Oh." And then he's telling me, he's like, "Give me a link for the boots that you're wearing so I can get it." And I'm like, "Oh, easy." So yeah, that's the best
he's
story.
a boot guy. Yeah, he's a boot guy. He's into his boots. Now that's cool, man. Damn, what an occurrence! Because I mean, you know, he's been blowing up over the past like 5 years. Yeah. He's kind of at like the forefront now, like in amongst like, you know, greats like Troy Baker and whatnot. It's pretty insane his come up.
And and it's funny because I see a comment, it's like, "You sound like you're in love." I'm like, "Bro, he is extremely good looking, and his voice is like buttery." So like, maybe
absolutely, like, he's a lady killer.
Like, maybe
he's a lady killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Ben Starr.
It's funny.
I'd like to see him in Kingdom Hearts. Get him in Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, get him in Kingdom Hearts for Clive. And I keep saying that like, "Oh, but Clive is from like, you know, ye old English times. Like, how's he gonna look in Quadratum in the city?" I'm like, "Yo, just dress him up like
Tekken. He's already been there."
Yeah, exact Tekken. But I was like thinking like, "Yo, just dress him up like a hipster. Put a ski cap, like put a beanie on him, have him like nice wool jacket, boots and stuff." And people are like, "So you want him to dress like Ben Starr?" I'm like, yes. Yes, like
Basically,
literally have Clive
yeah.
dressed like Ben Star in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, basically.
So,
Oh, funny.
oh god. Yeah.
Funny.
Like to end off the Ben Star story, when we went to his booth to get some signatures, homie mom was like, it's funny because like we saw a bunch of like a bunch of artwork for Clive and for it was Jimbo from Balatro and whatnot, and he was saying like, yo, if he had that one image of that flash going off in his face from the Game Awards as Prince, like I would say like, bro, I would buy like 5 of those if he had it, and he didn't. And I told him, I was like, yo, you should.
Yeah, he needs to get onto
You need to
that.
get
He
those
needs to get
prints.
onto that.
Get those
Yeah,
prints, 'cause,
yeah.
like they would sell out.
Yeah,
Like, I would
absolutely. Damn, that was such a good meme. That was such a good.
Right? Just like blaring in his face.
The Ansem version of that kills me to this day. Like when he fucking opens the door to darkness, so good, man.
like, light, but
Light!
That was a defining moment in Kingdom Hearts. All right, let's go off that tangent. Like just to like shoot the shit. What are y'all's most defining moment? Just think of one. Try to think of one. Your most defining moment in Kingdom Hearts, like a scene, like because we were just talking about the like this. So, like Kingdom Hearts is light. Door opens. Ansem gets blasted. That's a defining moment in my opinion. So, not mine, but that is one. I'm gonna throw it over to Jared first. A defining moment in Kingdom Hearts.
Man, one just like straight off the bat is I really like that moment in Dream Drop Distance where Sora and Roxas are finally having like a proper conversation.
That's good.
Aside from what happens obviously at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, but
Yeah.
Sora more or less getting filled up like a 2-liter juice box with all of Roxas's memories
From 258 Days,
just
yeah.
being filled with the trauma. That was pretty huge, and it was sort of that like divergent point of Sora trying to stress to Roxas that like as much as you are me, you are your own person.
Yeah.
That hit home.
That's
That
beautiful.
hit home. I liked that. I liked that moment. It's nice.
That's in my top 10. Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's nice. It's
Oh
nice.
man. All right, Sarah, throwing it over to you. What's like an iconic moment?
You ready?
Yeah, I'm
Big.
ready. She's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "I'm ready. Let's get it." Was it?
All right. The heart may be weak, and sometimes it may
Let's
even.
go.
But I learned that deep down this that was my senior quote. So that's probably my
that was
most defining.
beautiful.
Oh, it's
I-
iconic.
That's my childhood one. Well, and still as an adult, but as an adult, like I don't know what it is about that scene with Ventus in Kingdom Hearts 3 where it's like, "Thank you for keeping me safe, Sora." Oh my god, it's peak.
Ooh.
It's so peak.
just that one line. That
Ooh.
one line.
That's
Yes!
good.
Good
Yeah,
choices.
that's
good
good.
choices.
Yeah, I mean that hits hard because there wasn't a lot of like talk or conversation because they were too busy like taking care of the situation at hand. But that was enough. That one line there was enough. Yeah, that's a good one. I
So-
like that. I like that.
I've got 2 and an honorable mention. So, and obviously, oh wow, they deal with Roxas, right? The one where Roxas crashes out against Axel, because that one
Yeah.
just that voice acting was so fucking good. When like Axel's like, oh, like sometimes learning about the truth isn't for the best, right? And I know I fucked up the line, but then Roxas is like, how do you like, bro, like. Why do you think that? Well, like, I have the right to know the truth. And then something that a lot of people argue about that scene is like, oh, the right to know the truth is like, oh, the right to know the truth. People misconstrue that line as, like Roxas is not part of like a nation in the real world where it's like, oh, you have these rights, you have those rights, this rights. Like, oh, the right to know the truth. It's like, no, Roxas as a cognitive being, the whole thing is like, I think, therefore I am. As a being that is able to think and be autonomous, like they know, like a living being has the right to know the truth, right? And it's like, oh, how did I even get there? Why am I so special? Where did I learn to use the keyblade? Like him just like going like higher and higher with his anger and emotion, and then dropping it all the way back down just fucking kills it for me. He goes like, it's like, what is wrong against masters? please, Axel. And Axel's like, you have to trust me. And then he goes all the way back down. He's like, I can't. Right? And then just walks away. He's like, fuck, that was good. Right? So then,
yeah, that's a good one.
That one,
Yeah.
and then the other one, which breaks my heart every time. I'm like, this is the fucking beginning of the game. Kingdom Hearts 2. It looks like My Summer Vacation.
Ah, yeah, classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
and it's another
yeah.
moment of that where Roxas was so full of hate, so full of rage to what Diz was doing to him, and then like you could see his face, like full of hate. As soon as Sora's pod opens up and he lays eyes on Sora, all that shit melted away. He's like, Sora.
And Diz just like
Yeah.
antagonizing him, like during
Yeah.
that whole moment.
Yeah, he was just like poking the bear the whole time, but then as soon
You
as
hold
Roxas,
the hate of Sora's heart.
Yeah.
Or, like whatever he was going on about, yeah.
as soon as like Roxas laid eyes on Sora, like all that shit melted away because he couldn't be mad at Sora. And he's like, you're
Yeah.
lucky. And so those are two. And then honorable mention, as much as I hate this character, y'all already know, right? As much as I hate this character, Terra, that I cried. I legit cried when like the reunion for Terra, the Birth by Sleep trio is like, I heard you too, Ven. You found me just like you promised. And I'm like,
Yeah. That
fuck,
that
like,
did
that
hit
was
hard.
good. And then
And how good the eyes look, because it
Yeah.
makes it look like they're like tearing up and they're all like red
Mhm.
and sort of slightly
they're all
bloodshot.
red. They're
God.
all red
yeah.
bloodshot.
Yeah.
And the fact that Yoko Shimura made a fucking remix to Destiny's Union called Chains to Bonds, and I'm like, you didn't have to remix this. Why'd you remix this?
Meanings.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, too good. Man, there's so many peak moments like throughout the series, like just deep, like, you know, you've been following these characters for like so many years
Yeah.
and pivotal moments of your life, you know, growing up and
Oh, yeah.
whatnot. And having these conclusions or these really special moments like just hit so hard. I think that's why, like, you know, a lot of people gravitate towards Kingdom Hearts is
Oh,
you're
yeah.
so invested in what happens to these characters.
Also, I was thinking about, I got one more, and I don't care what anyone says because a lot of people memed on this scene when it first happened, and I don't care. Y'all missed the point, right? And I'll say this. I'll say this.
Y'all
And it-
missed the point.
Yeah, and this is hard. It is hard in my heart, right? Because I always said, and because people didn't know how to keep up, I always said Xehanort is the antagonist, but he's not evil. Yeah, he did fucked up things, but he's not evil because he like there's a very fine line of perception of evil. Maleficent is evil. Baldur is an evil bastard. Xehanort wasn't evil. So when it came to that scene, very well done. Nah, because like when Ericus told him to surrender the Keyblade, and then he remembered that scene, and he remembered his original mission, and he remembered how to smile again, and then like reminding himself of that, and then seeing that his original mission in Sora surrendering the Keyblade to him was the best way for Xehanort to go out. Was the best way, and people were like, "Oh, he did all this fucked up shit. He was getting redeemed." It's like, no, he didn't get redeemed. He died. Like, bro, like, oh,
But he
it's
got
like,
served as fish.
yeah, bro.
No, I think that
He got
conclusion
his. Damn, like,
was good. Yeah. I have to wonder too if you know, this kind of, and I'm sure this may have got like, I don't know, possibly explained somewhere along the line somewhere, and it might yet still need to be explained. But like, I wonder if Xehanort discovered that by doing what he was trying to do, essentially resetting everything back to equilibrium, that it would have maybe erased like the Tome of Prophecies. He had or caught wind of perhaps what the Master of Master intends, and that he saw that as the only means of basically being able to stop the Master's plans.
right.
Something like that along those lines. And
I
that he had
feel-
to do these awful things in order to get there.
Right. I feel that it wasn't specifically to counteract the Master's plan, because he definitely anticipated that to a degree by looking into Quadratum, right? As we've known in Melody Minute. I don't think it was specifically to counter that, but to put a stopper on it where like, oh, you don't need to do this, rather than I'm going to stop you. It's like, it's in the sense like I can find a better way on my own, because he like in Dark Road and in Remind as young Xehanort, he makes that it's like, oh, the world needs me, I can do this, right? And then at the very end, when like, you know, he's telling Eric, like, I can do this, right? he want to fix it his own way without resorting to whatever the master's planning, which I feel that he has a kind of idea to it. But like, you know, he's dead now, so we can't ask him. Like Mickey's like, when did Vinny say Xehanort? So we can't ask him. Like, bro, yeah, y'all killed him. Like, bro, like but yeah, so Xehanort, it's funny because he had good intentions, but like as a quote says, you know, sometimes a path of good intentions is paved in blood, right? So like Xehanort isn't evil, and I saw saw someone in the chat saying that, oh, Vanitas was evil, like, and I will say I don't believe so, right? I don't believe Vanitas is evil, especially when it came to the last interaction he had with Sora and Ventus in Kingdom Hearts 3, where I honestly believe 100% he legitimately believed that Sora and Ventus were his brothers, but in his own fucked up way, because that's all he knew as a darkness, right? That's all, and then it's blatantly seen and talked about in Unicross and Dark Road, that the way darkness thinks, the way they perceive things, is something that is incomprehensible to denizens of light, to humans, right? In which they believe in a certain way, they believe in a certain, like, you know, way of living, where like, yeah, Vanitas was given a form, but he's still, as it turns out, a true darkness or comparable to one, where like he believed like standing by Sora's and Ventus' side as their shadow, being like, what I am is darkness, is the way that he can be the closest to them in his own fucked up understanding. And that's why they play that fucking theme in the background. Like, they played Missing You in the background for a reason, because like music means shit in Kingdom Hearts. So like,
it does.
I don't think Vanitas is evil. And then remember, like, we were all there, like all of us were there at the Kingdom Hearts orchestra where Vanitas' theme, and Vanitas was in the medley of heroes and heroines. Yeah, he was the last one there. So like,
I feel like he did kind of grow like some level of perhaps awareness, a certain amount of awareness, but also like just humanity too, with spending so much time within Ventus there for a bit as well.
Right.
But I think, you know, really the only ones we haven't, as you said, we haven't really had anyone that's like inherently evil, and so I'm excited for the future, because while Boulder for sure, but while we haven't had anyone inherently evil, and I think it'll still be like the same thing with the foretellers to a certain degree. I'm looking forward to getting more on, you know, the true 13 darknesses. They're gonna return in like some shape or form. I mean, I'd have to imagine those guys there, bar that of Vanitas, you know, in some aspects, will be inherently evil and just completely fucked up.
I honestly believe, and I started a theory chain of this, and I gotta finish it when, you know, I put out the other video, hopefully before the Switch 2 comes out. But I honestly do believe that Vanitas will be the key or the answer to how darkness and light can truly coexist, to the point where, like, you know, he is a true darkness, but not one of the deadly seven, right? The deadly seven are locked within the other foretellers, and I feel that Vanitas' understanding and connection to Sora will help him understand, you know, what it means to live among those in light without wanting to consume or destroy them. And then Sora will get the perspective from Vanitas to know how to properly, you know, live alongside darkness. Because once upon a time, that it was that, you know, the Masters told us. The Masters said that, like, once upon a time, darknesses had forms not unlike humans, and they lived side by side. But then war broke out, and we still don't know why it happened, which I'm pretty sure is going to be revealed in the Lost Master arc. So, yeah. It's all, trust me, 5D is all coming.
Yeah, I can see him like kind of coming back and maybe like teaming up with the good guys there. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see that, and fighting against his own darknesses. That'd be sick. Love to see that. That
would be sick. Oh man, so we're actually a little past the 2-hour mark, and I think there's a good time to call it, because I mean it's midnight over here. So as closing aspects and whatnot, to have like a little bit more, like maybe 10-15 minutes more or stuff, let's talk about really quickly what you're most excited for in terms of Kingdom Hearts 4, that everything that's been happening over the past couple of weeks or whatnot leading into Summer Games Fest. And do you believe that Kingdom Hearts 4 will have a bigger presence this year? So Jared, let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's time. Like, it is time. There's no reason why we shouldn't get a substantial update this year. So I think we will have a big presence this year. I think there is a trailer that's going to happen, whether it's going to happen next week or maybe in a couple months or maybe in December. Who knows? But I think we are in for a substantial scoop. Just, looking at, like, the Square Enix pipeline, the thing that makes the most sense to be what is next to be presented and revealed and also released, if we're looking at like AAA, would be Kingdom Hearts 4 along with Dragon Quest 12, though I'm led to believe even though DQ12 got revealed a year before Kingdom Hearts 4, Kingdom Hearts 4 is kind of like what's planned next. There's just more on it at this stage than DQ12. So yeah, I think like strap up, ladies and gentlemen, like this is it. I think this is our time. I think we're getting very, very close. It's just a matter of like when and where. But I don't think it should be too much longer. And I'm excited to see, especially like what the scrap and build system will look like. That's apparently going to be like the game's big new mechanic, as was Dry Forms to KH2. This is kind of the big next thing for KH4. So I can't wait to see that, go through the cycle of getting the world reveals again. Those are like almost to the same degree as hype as like a new character for Smash Bros. Like knowing what worlds we're going to. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. I'm just looking forward to that whole cycle.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I believe. But with that being said, thank you so much, Jared, the GamersJoint Cynical, for being on the show. And before I throw the ball over to Sarah for the next question, let them know where they can find you.
Thanks for having me, bro. Yeah, you can find me over on YouTube, or you can find me over on Twitter. And I'm also been talking about coming back to streaming for way too long, and hopefully it's happening sometime soon.
I hope so. I gotta get my turkey fixed, man.
Absolutely. But otherwise, yeah, man, thank you so much for having me. It's always good to sit down and chat with you guys, as it usually goes. It's been too long, but, a million years could pass by and things never change, so it's always good to chat the shit.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll get back together really soon with the other boys. But, Sarah, so throwing back the question over to you, what is exciting you the most about Kingdom Hearts 4, and do you think this year is going to be the year where we're going to be seeing things that are pretty substantial? What do you think?
The things that are exciting me the most is just getting crumbs. We're finally getting crumbs, so that's been exciting. I think we're definitely getting closer to Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm not gonna lie, the jokes get old. They get old. If I see one more Kingdom Hearts 4 in 2042, I'm gonna lose it.
I feel that so much.
It's an old joke. It's not original. Anyway.
And it was never funny.
I mean, I get it, but it's also just like, oh my god. Anyway, I think we're getting there. It seems like, especially if we get a trailer, then it's just we're so back. So, I have high hopes, but I also have no idea. Maybe it will come out in 2042. Yeah. But I'm just kidding.
Like in the rest home by the time we get to play it. Sweet.
Nah, it's gonna be. I believe. Don't never stop believing. Never stop believing.
A little tartan blanket and my like little biscuit tin dog sitting on my lap. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Nah, it's gonna be at the point where it's gonna come out where we don't even need controllers. We're just gonna plug it directly into the side of our heads, and then just
But how about you, man? Like, what are your thoughts, Gio? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts. Yeah. My thoughts, absolutely. I do believe that this year could be the year, because I mean, before the blowout that we got not too long ago, I was like, okay, another year. Are we gonna be in disappointment? I'm playing other games, but like, I'm waiting. I'm always here, waiting and willing. I always have the hope, time and time again. But like Sarah said earlier in the stream, I feel like this is the time. This is the time. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, right? Because I feel like too many
really
stars. Oh yeah, I'm really feeling it.
Sorry,
really feeling it.
No, I feel like too many stars are aligning now, and that there were stars aligning last year, but things happened that disrupted that, and we can see that like obviously. So I do believe they're like, you know, catching the fumble from last year into this year, and I think that, you know, like this will be the year we're gonna see. I don't know at Summer's Game Fest, but I do believe we are gonna get a trailer this year, sometime this year, and that a lot of people will get surprised, but a lot of us know in our hearts that 2026 could be a possibility. But in that trailer, they were like, it's gonna be 2026 because more and more developers doing this. So I do believe. And what's excited me the most about Kingdom Hearts 4, like honestly, it's like the advent of the new, right? And then there's like before the fact that I played, you know, this game that I'm gonna relate it to, is that I love the idea of games, movies, or books, or like any type of anything continuing on in a different facet, but still acknowledging and incorporating the past into the future, right? And like the biggest way I could like, you know, relate that to gamers is God of War 4. God of War 4 brought a whole new perspective to Kratos and like his machinations and whatnot, but it didn't completely disregard all the God of War games that came out, like God of War 1, 2, 3, all the side games, in terms of being in Greece, in the Olympian Pantheon, but now we're in the Norse Pantheon. So like I feel like Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna have that same energy, in which like it doesn't completely disregard everything that's happened before in the Dark Secret Saga, but will bring a new fresh amount into Quadratum, the Lost Master Arc, and all that good jazz. So that's what makes me the most excited. But before I end that off, Sarah, let them know where they can find you. And once again, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me. You could find me on Twitch as SarahKey, or YouTube as SarahKey, and everything else I'm SarahKey Blade, because it's always taken. So
oof.
Yeah.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, HMK of the Fifth Dimension. You know where you can find me, all things HM Killer, Kingdom Hearts, Zelda, all that good jazz. And I want to thank y'all for being here on this very, very electric, very, very special, very, very chill episode of the Fifth Dimension, the Big 100. Now, before I toss y'all to the thank you. Before I toss y'all to the wind, let's go ahead and raid another homie. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and raid Demon Imp, who is currently playing Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5, 2.5 remix for the first time. So I hope you guys enjoy their stream, because they're enjoying the magic that we've all had for years for the first time now. So until the next stream, this has been HMK, the GamersJoint, SarahKey, Keykeepers, and we'll check you guys later.
Later.
Bye.